Pause and listen with the deepest part of your soul. There are moments when sound carries weight, when words arrive not as information, but as confirmation. This is one of those moments. Something inside you has already been stirring, and it is not imagination, it is recognition. It is alignment. It is the quiet awareness that your life is no longer moving in circles, but advancing with intention. God is not whispering anymore. God is announcing a transition. You are not waiting for change. You are standing at the doorway of it. You are entering your millionaire phase, not by chance, not by comparison, but by divine orchestration. For years, you have lived beneath what you carry. You had vision larger than your environment, faith greater than your resources, and ideas that outgrew your bank account. You learned to survive with restraint while your spirit was designed for expansion. And this tension was not accidental. God was stretching your capacity so that when increase arrives, it would not destroy you. Many people ask for abundance, but few are prepared for the responsibility of it. God does not bless immaturity. God blesses alignment. And alignment has been forming in you quietly, deeply, deliberately. You were being trained to think differently before you were allowed to live differently. God began by breaking mental ceilings. You started noticing that what once satisfied you now feels too small. What once excited you now feels incomplete. Comfort began to irritate you. Average began to feel heavy. This is not ingratitude. This is transition. God enlarges desire before releasing provision. When God prepares to elevate your finances, the first thing God upgrades is your mindset. Because wealth is not sustained by money. It is sustained by wisdom, discipline, and purpose. There were seasons when you worked harder than others yet earned less. Seasons when effort did not immediately produce evidence. Seasons when you questioned whether your obedience was worth it. But even in those moments, something inside you refused to quit. That resistance was not stubbornness, it was divine imprint. God placed resilience in you because what you are about to manage requires strength, not excitement. Money responds to mastery. Influence responds to integrity. And God has been building both in you. Understand this clearly. Your millionaire phase is not about numbers first. It is about authority. God is positioning you to command resources, not chase them. To direct money, not beg for it. To steward wealth, not worship it. The reason God waited was not because you were unqualified, but because the assignment attached to your prosperity demanded depth. Superficial minds collapse under serious abundance. God develops roots before releasing fruit. You have noticed changes in how you think about time. You no longer waste it easily. You feel uneasy with distractions that once entertained you. This is not boredom, it is refinement. God is recalibrating your priorities. When wealth approaches, focus becomes sacred. Discipline becomes protection. Clarity becomes currency. You are being trained to move intentionally because what is coming will require discernment, not impulse. There were moments you felt isolated, misunderstood, even lonely. God allowed distance because not everyone can breathe in the atmosphere you are entering. Some people only know how to survive, not how to build. Some only know how to consume, not how to multiply. God sometimes removes voices not to punish you, but to preserve the clarity of your calling. You were separated so you could hear direction without interference. Your millionaire phase is emerging because your obedience matured. You stopped asking only for relief and started asking for responsibility. You stopped praying only to escape pressure and started praying for capacity. That shift changed everything. God responds when the motive becomes pure. When wealth is no longer about proving something, but about serving something greater. When money becomes a tool, not an identity. There is a reason challenges intensified right before this season. Resistance increases when transition is close. Pressure does not mean defeat. It often signals promotion. God allows certain battles not to break you, but to reveal what is inside you. And what was revealed was strength, patience, wisdom, and endurance. These are the currencies of lasting wealth. You are not becoming wealthy to escape struggle. You are becoming wealthy to establish systems, create solutions, and empower others. God entrusts wealth to builders, not consumers, and you are a builder. You see problems and think of answers. You see lack and think of structure. You see chaos and think of order. That is not accidental. That is a sign of financial authority being activated. Your hands are blessed. Your thinking is being sharpened. Your decisions are becoming more precise. God is teaching you to move with foresight, not fear. You no longer panic when things slow down because you understand cycles. You no longer rush because you understand timing. This maturity is evidence that wealth will not control you. You will command it. There were times when opportunities appeared small, even insignificant, but God was testing your faithfulness, because those who honor the small are trusted with the great. You learned to be excellent when no one was watching. You learned to deliver quality without applause. You learn to remain consistent without validation. That consistency is what wealth responds to. Money flows towards systems that function without chaos. Your millionaire phase will not arrive loudly at first. It will arrive quietly through alignment, insight, and strategy. Then momentum will follow. Increase will accelerate. What once took years will begin to happen in months. What once required strain will begin to flow with ease, not because you stopped working, but because you started working in alignment with divine order. God is also healing your relationship with money, removing guilt, removing fear, removing limitation. You are learning that money is neutral. It amplifies intention, and your intention has been purified. You are not ashamed of desiring abundance anymore because you understand the responsibility attached to it. You no longer feel conflicted about prosperity because you know it will be used wisely. You are entering a phase where ideas will become assets, where conversations will turn into contracts, where skills will turn into streams. God is unlocking creativity because creativity generates value. And value attracts compensation. You will notice solutions forming in your mind effortlessly. You will see patterns others overlook. You will sense timing others miss. This is divine intelligence activating. The old season required survival faith. This season requires governing faith. Survival faith asks, will I make it? Governing faith declares, I am responsible for what flows through me. God is transitioning you from receiver to distributor, from requester to manager, from hopeful to authoritative. You will no longer be intimidated by wealthier rooms. You will walk in with composure because you understand who positioned you there. Confidence will not come from arrogance, but from clarity. You know why you are there. You know what you carry. You know what you are building. Your millionaire phase will challenge you to remain grounded. Pride is subtle when increase comes, but humility will keep the flow open. Gratitude will keep perspective intact. Discipline will keep structure strong. God will continue guiding you if you remain teachable. There will be moments when old limitations try to resurface, when past fear whispers caution. But you will recognize it as outdated programming. You are no longer thinking from lack. You are thinking from stewardship. You are not afraid of losing money because you understand how to create value. Security has shifted from possessions to wisdom. God is also aligning the right relationships. People who understand vision, people who respect process, people who move with integrity. These connections are not accidental, they are infrastructure. Wealth grows in networks, not isolation. And God is intentional about who is allowed access to your next level. Your millionaire phase will not remove challenges, it will change the nature of them. You will solve bigger problems, manage larger systems, influence broader outcomes, but you will be equipped. God never assigns without supplying capacity. Remember this, speed is not success, sustainability is. God is building something that lasts beyond excitement, beyond trends, beyond applause. What you are entering will outlive seasons because it is rooted in purpose. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right on time. Every delay refined you, every obstacle instructed you, every closed door redirected you. Nothing was wasted. Everything was preparation. Now your responsibility is to remain aligned, stay disciplined, stay focused, stay humble, and stay responsive. When God signals movement, move. When God signals stillness, wait. Timing protects increase. Your millionaire phase is unfolding because your foundation is ready. Your thinking is mature. Your heart is anchored. Your vision is clear. And God is faithful to complete what has been forming in you all along. There is another dimension to this season that must be understood clearly, because misunderstanding it could cause hesitation when boldness is required. When God ushers a person into a season of abundance, God does not remove responsibility, God multiplies it. Increase is not permission to relax, it is a call to rise higher in awareness. You are being invited to think like a steward of influence, not just an owner of resources. What is coming into your life is not meant to sit still. Wealth that remains stagnant begins to decay. Wealth that is guided by purpose becomes a river, and rivers bless everything they touch. God is shaping you to become a channel, not a container. You may feel a strange urgency inside you lately. Not panic, but alertness. A sense that time matters more than ever before. This is because God is sharpening your sensitivity to opportunity. Doors do not always open loudly. Sometimes they open quietly through conversations, ideas, timing, and discernment. The wealthy mindset recognizes moments others ignore. God is teaching you to notice what is valuable before it becomes obvious. Discernment is one of the greatest currencies of abundance, and God is refining it in you. There will be moments when fear attempts to disguise itself as wisdom. It will tell you to delay, to hesitate, to stay small a little longer. But you must learn the difference between caution and disobedience. God does not lead through fear. God leads through clarity and peace, even when the step is bold. When the instruction comes, it will not always make sense to logic alone, but it will resonate deeply within you. Trust that resonance. It is alignment speaking. This season will also require you to release certain old narratives about yourself. You can no longer afford to see yourself as someone who is trying. Trying belongs to the past. You are becoming someone who decides, builds, and executes. God is shifting your identity from hopeful to intentional. Wealth responds to decisiveness. Indecision creates leaks. God is training you to choose with confidence, not perfection. Progress follows movement, not endless analysis. You are also learning that not every opportunity is your assignment. Just because something is profitable does not mean it is purposeful for you. God guides not only through doors opening, but through restraint. Saying no will become as powerful as saying yes. Focus protects momentum. Scattered effort drains potential. God is teaching you to value depth over excess, mastery over noise. There will be seasons of acceleration where things happen faster than you imagined. Be careful not to confuse speed with loss of control. God accelerates those who are prepared. When momentum increases, systems matter, structure matters, discipline matters. This is why your past season demanded consistency. God was preparing you to handle velocity without chaos. Do not be surprised if your tolerance for disorder decreases. Clutter, mental, emotional, or physical, will begin to irritate you. This is because clarity is essential for expansion. God is refining your environment to match your calling. Order creates flow, and flow attracts increase. You will. Notice that your prayers have changed. You no longer pray only for provision. You pray for wisdom, strategy, and alignment. This shift is evidence of growth. God responds to prayers that reflect readiness. When you ask for insight instead of escape, you signal maturity. And God honors maturity with trust. There will be moments when you are tempted to compare your journey with others. Resist this strongly. Comparison weakens gratitude, and gratitude is a magnet for increase. God's blueprint for your abundance is unique. What you are building is specific to your assignment. Trust the pace, trust the process, trust the preparation. As wealth begins to manifest, generosity will become instinctive, not forced. True generosity is not emotional, it is intentional. God does not ask you to give to lose. God invites you to give to multiply impact. Giving keeps the heart aligned and the flow unobstructed. It reminds you that you are not the source, you are the steward. There will also be moments when silence becomes necessary. Not everyone needs to know your next move. Some things grow best underground. God values discretion. Protection often comes through privacy. Speak selectively. Build quietly. Let results speak when the time is right. You will also experience a deepening sense of responsibility toward excellence. Mediocrity will feel uncomfortable. You will find yourself refining details others overlook. This is not perfectionism, it is stewardship. Excellence honors the resources entrusted to you. God delights in diligence that reflects respect for the assignment. Your millionaire phase will reveal character, not because wealth changes who you are, but because it amplifies what is already there. Continue to cultivate humility, patience, and integrity. These qualities protect abundance from erosion. God sustains what aligns with truth. You may encounter resistance from unexpected places. Not everyone will understand your growth. Some may feel threatened by your expansion. Do not internalize their discomfort. Growth often disrupts familiarity. Stay grounded, stay kind, stay focused. God did not elevate you to argue. God elevated you to build. There will be days when pressure returns, but it will be different. It will not be pressure from lack, but from responsibility. Remember that pressure is not punishment. It is often a sign of significance. God trusts you with weight because you are proven capable of carrying it. Remain attentive to learning. Wealthy seasons still require humility to receive instruction. God may teach you through unexpected sources, experiences, and challenges. Stay teachable. Stagnation begins when learning stops. You are stepping into a phase where legacy begins to matter more than lifestyle. Short-term pleasure will lose its appeal compared to long-term impact. This is wisdom awakening. God is aligning your desires with enduring value. Do not rush to prove anything. Validation will come naturally through consistency and results. Let patience do its work. God's timing is precise. Early exposure can damage what is not yet fully formed. Trust the process. You are not alone in this transition. God walks ahead of you, preparing paths you cannot yet see. What feels uncertain now will soon feel familiar. Confidence will grow as alignment deepens. Above all, remember this truth. Abundance is not the goal, obedience is. Wealth is a consequence, not a pursuit. Stay centered, stay faithful, stay aligned, and continue walking with the quiet confidence that what is unfolding is not accidental, not delayed, and not reversible. God has initiated this season, and what God initiates, God sustains. There is a refining fire in this season that must not be misunderstood. God is not only increasing what comes to you, God is so refining how you respond to it. Emotional reactions that once ruled you will no longer be permitted to dominate your decisions. You're being trained to move from impulse to intention. Wealth requires emotional discipline because every reaction becomes a signal to the systems around you. God is strengthening your inner governance so that external increase does not create internal instability. You are learning to hear guidance beyond noise. The louder the world becomes, the more essential stillness grows. God often speaks direction not in chaos, but in clarity. You will notice a stronger pull toward moments of reflection, not because you are withdrawing from life, but because you are calibrating for accuracy. Precision is a hallmark of lasting prosperity. God values accuracy more than speed. Your relationship with pressure is changing. Pressure no longer intimidates you, it informs you. When pressure rises, you no longer collapse. You assess, you observe, you adjust. This shift is not accidental. God is preparing you to handle negotiations, decisions, and responsibilities that require composure under weight. Calmness under pressure is a language of authority. There will be times when your faith is tested not by lack, but by abundance. When options multiply, discernment must deepen. God is teaching you that more choices do not always mean better outcomes. Wisdom chooses alignment over excitement. The ability to walk away from misaligned gain is evidence of maturity. God honors restraint as much as courage. You may feel a growing intolerance for compromise. Things you once overlooked will now disturb your spirit. This is not judgment, it is clarity. God is sharpening your moral and strategic compass. Compromise weakens foundations, and God is building something meant to endure. Integrity is not a limitation, it is reinforcement. Your sense of ownership is expanding beyond personal benefit. You are beginning to think in terms of ecosystems, how your actions affect teams, families, communities, and future generations. This perspective is a sign that stewardship is awakening. God entrusts greater resources to those who think beyond themselves. Impact is the language God responds to. You are also learning to manage seasons of invisibility with confidence. Not every phase of growth is meant to be seen. Some of the most critical developments happen when there is little recognition. God values roots more than applause. When the time comes, visibility will arrive with stability. There will be moments when patience feels tested again, but this patience is different. It is no longer waiting with anxiety, it is waiting with expectancy. You understand that timing is a form of protection. God delays exposure to prevent damage. Trusting timing preserves momentum. Your standards are rising, not out of pride, but out of responsibility. You no longer accept environments that drain clarity or conversations that diminish vision. Guarding your mental and emotional space is now essential. God is teaching you that peace is not negotiable when purpose is involved. As your capacity increases, so will your need for structure. Freedom without structure leads to waste. God is guiding you to build frameworks that support expansion. Systems create sustainability. Discipline multiplies efficiency. These are not restrictions, they are tools of stewardship. You may notice that gratitude becomes more profound, not because everything is perfect, but because perspective has matured. Gratitude anchors the heart and keeps ambition pure. God responds to gratitude because it reflects awareness of source. Recognition keeps alignment intact. There will be days when uncertainty still appears, but it will no longer paralyze you. You have learned that uncertainty is often the doorway to innovation. God uses uncertainty to draw creativity out of you. When familiar paths disappear, new strategies emerge. Your confidence is becoming quieter but stronger. You no longer need to announce what you are becoming. Assurance lives inside you. This inner confidence is more powerful than external validation. God builds confidence from identity, not approval. You are also becoming more selective with energy. Not every battle deserves engagement. Not every opinion deserves response. God is teaching you to conserve strength for what truly matters. Focus amplifies effectiveness. The way you view failure has transformed. Failure no longer defines you, it instructs you. Each misstep refines judgment. God uses experience as a teacher when humility remains present. Learning accelerates when ego is absent. You are entering a phase where consistency outweighs intensity. Short bursts of effort are being replaced by sustained excellence. God values faithfulness over flashes of brilliance. Longevity is built on rhythm, not extremes. Your discernment regarding people is sharpening. You recognize alignment without explanation. You sense trustworthiness beyond words. God is equipping you to build with the right individuals at the right time. Relationships are infrastructure, and God is intentional about structure. You are also becoming comfortable with responsibility that once felt heavy. What used to overwhelm you now challenges you constructively. Growth has expanded your capacity. God does not overwhelm vessels that have been strengthened. You are learning to hold vision without anxiety. Seeing far no longer creates pressure, it creates direction. God is anchoring your hope in purpose, not outcomes. When purpose leads, outcomes follow. There is a quiet resilience forming in you. When setbacks occur, recovery is quicker, perspective returns faster. This resilience is evidence of deep-rooted faith. God fortifies those who continue forward without bitterness. Your millionaire phase is not just about accumulation. It is about alignment with truth, wisdom, and responsibility. Every internal shift you experience is preparing you for external expansion. God is not rushing the process because the process is the protection. There is a deeper awakening taking place within you now, one that goes beyond ambition or desire. God is awakening conscience alongside capacity. This is critical because wealth without conscience becomes destructive, but wealth governed by conscience becomes transformational. You are being shaped to understand that every resource carries moral weight. Every decision echoes beyond the present moment. God is refining your awareness so that power does not intoxicate you, but sobers you with responsibility. You are beginning to sense that money is not merely earned, it is attracted by alignment. When your values, actions, and intentions harmonize with truth, provision finds you. God does not release abundance into disorder. God releases abundance into systems that can carry it without corruption. This is why your life has been reorganized internally before it is reorganized externally. You may notice that your tolerance for shortcuts is disappearing. What once seemed like a faster route now feels uneasy. This is discernment growing. God is teaching you that shortcuts often bypass character, and character is the backbone of sustainable wealth. You are learning to respect process because process preserves integrity. There is also a strengthening of patience in your speech. You speak less impulsively now. Words carry intention. God understands that language shapes reality. As you mature, your words are becoming measured, precise, and deliberate. This is not silence, it is authority. Those who govern WL do not need to shout. You are also learning that rest is not weakness. Rest is alignment. God instituted rhythms not to slow progress, but to protect clarity. Exhaustion clouds judgment. God is teaching you to value restoration so that creativity remains sharp and decisions remain sound. As your influence grows, so will your accountability. This is not something to fear, it is something to honor. Accountability refines excellence. God allows oversight to keep pride from distorting purpose. You will find yourself welcoming correction because you understand its value. You are becoming increasingly aware that every resource entrusted to you must be multiplied, not merely preserved. Stagnation contradicts stewardship. God expects growth, expansion, and innovation. This does not mean reckless risk. It means intentional advancement. Growth guided by wisdom honors God. Your emotional landscape is also being purified. Old resentments are losing their grip. Bitterness cannot coexist with abundance for long. God is cleansing your heart so that joy remains accessible even under pressure. A light heart sustains heavy responsibility. You are learning to celebrate progress without becoming complacent. Gratitude does not dull ambition, it sharpens it. God delights in those who acknowledge progress while remaining committed to growth. You may encounter moments where obedience requires letting go of something profitable but misaligned. These moments test trust, but understand this clearly. God never subtracts without intention to replace with something greater in alignment. What you release creates space for what is assigned. Your sensitivity to injustice may increase as your capacity grows. God often entrusts resources to those who are moved by inequity, not as saviors, but as contributors to solutions. Compassion guided by wisdom becomes a powerful force for change. You are also being trained to handle recognition properly. Praise can distract if it becomes nourishment. God is teaching you to receive acknowledgement without becoming dependent on it. Identity must remain rooted in purpose, not applause. There will be seasons where you are required to lead without affirmation. These moments strengthen conviction. God develops leaders who remain steady even when encouragement is absent. Stability under silence reveals depth. You are becoming more intentional with legacy. Thoughts are shifting from immediate reward to long-term impact. This perspective aligns with wisdom. God honors those who build beyond their lifetime. Your understanding of value is maturing. You no longer equate value solely with money. Time, trust, clarity, and integrity are now recognized as currencies. God teaches that true wealth is multidimensional. As you move forward, remain aware that humility is not thinking less of yourself, it is thinking accurately about your role. You are not the source, but you are chosen as a vessel. This understanding keeps authority pure. There will be days when the path ahead still feels uncertain. Uncertainty does not mean absence of guidance. It often means invitation to trust more deeply. God sometimes reveals direction step by step to cultivate reliance. You are learning that courage is not absence of fear. It is obedience despite it. Every significant advancement requires courage. God strengthens those who move forward with faith rather than retreating into comfort. Your millionaire phase continues to unfold through these internal transformations. Every refinement prepares you for greater responsibility. Every insight deepens capacity. Every aligned decision strengthens foundation. Now understand this final truth with clarity and reverence. What you are entering is not a reward for perfection, but a response to surrender. God does not elevate those who never struggle. God elevates those who remain faithful while struggling. Every unseen decision, every disciplined moment Every refusal to quit when quitting felt reasonable has been recorded. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was overlooked. This season is not beginning because you demanded it, but because you were shaped enough to carry it. You are not becoming wealthy to escape humility. You are becoming wealthy to practice it at a higher level. God is entrusting you with more because you learned to honor little. The same reverence you carried in lack must remain in abundance. The same dependence you practiced in uncertainty must remain in clarity. This is how flow remains uninterrupted. As you step fully into this phase, remain anchored in obedience. Let wisdom guide every expansion. Let patience guard every decision. Let integrity be non-negotiable. Wealth will come, but alignment must remain. Influence will grow, but accountability must deepen. God sustains what remains submitted. Do not fear the scale of what is ahead. Capacity has already been built within you. You will not be overwhelmed because you were prepared gradually. You will not be consumed because your foundation is rooted. You will not lose direction because guidance continues. God does not abandon mid-process. Walk forward with quiet confidence. Build without noise. Grow without arrogance. Give without hesitation. Lead without fear. And remember always that abundance is not your identity. It is your assignment. You are entering this phase not to be elevated above others, but to become effective, responsible, and impactful within God's order. What unfolds next will not contradict what shaped you. It will confirm it. Carry this awareness with you as you move forward. Every season ahead will require the same attentiveness that brought you here. Never disconnect success from submission. Never separate progress from purpose. God is not finished refining you because refinement is not a phase. It is a posture. As long as your heart remains teachable, guidance will remain clear. As long as gratitude remains alive, increase will remain sustainable. There will be moments when the weight of responsibility feels heavy again, but you will recognize it now as significance, not burden. You were shaped to carry weight without losing balance. Let wisdom slow you when excitement tries to rush you. Let discernment filter voices that seek access without alignment. Protection is part of provision, and God continues to guard what is entrusted to you. Stay conscious of the source. Confidence must never become independence. Strength must never become pride. Authority must never forget reverence. God elevates, but God also observes. What remains anchored in truth will remain standing through every cycle. And as you continue, let your life speak louder than your words. Let consistency testify. Let integrity confirm. Let impact reveal intent. The season unfolding before you is not fragile. It is established. Move forward without fear, without apology, and without doubt, knowing that what God has positioned you for is being sustained by the same wisdom that prepared you for it.